it's almost automatic. It actually is automatic. So, even if you tell yourself right now, in your head, that it's okay, can you feel a little bit of a relief? Even if it's a minor relief. Do you know why you feel a certain relief? It's because you are always punishing yourself for being who you are. So you always whip yourself and always try to be something that you're not. And you're always just feeling guilty for feeling whatever it is you're feeling. So when you hear yourself or someone say that it's okay, there's the relief, because you're finally, maybe even if it's for a few seconds, you're feeling the relief of you not hitting yourself, so to speak. So it's important to say it's okay and relax and let yourself be whatever it is. Maybe something is stressing you out, like work or school, or some personal relationships in your life, or maybe even just certain failures in life. You can just tell yourself that it's okay. That doesn't even need to be like a real explanation behind it why it's okay. You can just say that it is okay and just be with it. You don't need to prove to yourself why it's okay. Whatever it is, it's just okay because it just is. You are enough by just being who you are. And the reason is just because. There doesn't need to be a reason. There really does not need to be any kind of reason. Because if there is a reason, then that reason can be taken away. Then there is a certain, how do I say, qualification for yourself to feel happy only if you have that certain thing, or if you're in a certain mindset. But if everything is okay and you just let yourself be without any qualifications, you can just be in peace. That kind of calms down your mind a little bit. You can still be in pain, but that pain is a bit different. It's not the pain of rejecting yourself, it's the pain of just you healing and being yourself. And that kind of pain, after a while, if you're in it and you're not judging yourself and you're just in it, goes away. It heals away. That pain is actually peaceful. The other kind of pain is rigid, non-peaceful, and uncertain, and always on the go. There is no peace in it. There is nothing. But if you finally do accept the feelings that are inside you, and you are at peace with it, and you're like active about feeling those feelings, and you're not like something pisses you off about another person, and you can, like, in your mind you can tell that it's not a big deal, but it still pisses you off, then that's a sign of actually not accepting something within yourself. When you do accept yourself within everyone else, just happens to be entertaining. Even if the things that they're doing are wrong. I mean, of course, sometimes you do need to step up and you have to say some things, but in general, most people just need to do some inner work. I still have that problem in a lot of areas in my life, and I'm trying my hardest to balance and understand the difference between standing up for myself and me just being triggered. You know, the healthy version of anger and the unhealthy version of anger. I am trying my hardest to find out that balance, but I can tell that most of it is unhealthy, and I haven't accepted some things in myself. I am trying my hardest, and I can feel that it has worked in a lot of areas in my life, but there is still work to be done. I can see like some self-attacking sometimes, and sometimes a feeling is just so overwhelming that I can't sit with it, and I can see myself escaping just a little bit, even if I try my hardest not to. I can see just me reducing it a little bit inwardly, because I have had those like self-regulating things in myself for years, so it's super easy for me to block things out emotionally and numb myself instead of going straight in, diving in, and looking it straight in the eye. But I try. And I am going to try to put myself into situations, trigger myself even more. Because when you trigger yourself more, you're tapping into your trauma more. It's easier to process emotions when it's on the surface. When nothing has happened and you go into like a meditation, it's really hard. But when it's right there and it's really intense, something has been poked at and it has come up to the surface. And when it's come up to the surface, you can deal with it so much better. And when it's there, you can just tell yourself that it's okay. I'm here for you. It's okay. I'm not gonna leave you. I will be here as long as you exist. No matter how intense it gets, I'll be here, and I will show you affection. I will be kind to you, no matter how intense it is. And the more you say and tell yourself that it's okay, the quicker it gets warmer and warmer, this intense feeling, until it disappears completely. But it's also important to not rush things, because that can also be a sign of rejection resistance, if you rush things just so you can just get on with it and be done with it, that is not very kind and not very respectful for your inner self. You need to show respect to whatever it is inside. If it's fear, anger, sadness, just intense knots maybe somewhere around your stomach, chest, or throat, it doesn't matter. You need to show respect. And when you show respect and you don't think that you're better or you know better than the feeling, because that's what it is when you want to get it done like really quickly and remove it. It's like, okay, that's uncomfortable, but I want to just remove it immediately. That is not respectful. That is not how you should treat yourself. You should respect it and be there for it as long as it lasts. It can happen without you triggering yourself, but it's a lot easier for something to come up when you do trigger yourself. I feel like it has more quality to the work, and it's just easier. So when it does get really, really intense, you can tell that it wants your attention, and you should give your attention when it does happen. Don't just move on and play some music. Just sit down and give your all to that one feeling which you really craves for. So when you've been meditating for some time and you don't really feel anything really, it's important to trigger yourself. Put yourself in situations that trigger you. Of course, don't put anyone in danger. Just think of something that does trigger you, but if you think about it mentally, it's not a big deal. That's a good activity to do. So you're not hurting anyone, but you're still getting that hit of adrenaline, and like you're being triggered. And yeah, like I said, when it happens, you can just be with it, respect it, tell yourself that it's okay, and you can feel the intensity subsiding to something beautiful and warm, to this type of calm strength within you. Yeah. I feel like for me it's like always at the tip of my tongue. I can feel it, but it doesn't fully come to the surface. It comes a little bit, but it doesn't come fully. And I feel like I need that little push for it to come fully out. Sometimes meditating only for that small percentage does bring out more of the percentage of that feeling. But it would be even easier if I triggered myself even more and it's fully out. Because when it's fully out, then it just becomes so easy. Oh my god. It's like you've already embarrassed yourself, so to speak. Like you already fully did it. There's no coming back. It doesn't get worse than that. And then you can just fully feel it when it's out. Instead of trying to bring it out, just bring it out. But there's like resistance, because that's what the work is. There's so much resistance always on the way. Even if you want to go deeper, there's resistance. That's why most people don't feel anything when they meditate. At first, at least, when they do it for longer and longer, you can see and feel more things coming up. But not for everyone. Because in healing part goes. We are all different in terms of defense mechanisms and our mental gymnastics, but how it heals is always the same for everyone. I mean, it heals the same for everyone when you have those qualifications. And the qualifications are when the trauma feeling has fully come up. You're there with it, feeling it, giving it its full attention, not half-assing it, but fully just validating that experience and having zero resistance. Zero, even if there's a little bit resistance, it will not heal. Even if there's 1% resistance, it will not heal. So even if you're there and you're feeling it, it can feel better. But if you feel like it hasn't fully gone away, that's because there is still resistance. And usually it's because you want it to go away. And if you want it to go away, you hate it. And when you hate it, you resist it. And what resists persists, and don't feel guilty at all when you feel like you're not making a lot of progress, because that's what the work is. It's not getting rid of the feelings within you, it's removing the resistance to feel those things. It's about removing resistance, not the feelings themselves. So it's about going through the resistance, so you're not resisting anything, and you allow yourself to be free without any defenses. And it's very, 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 very hard and scary to be fully without any defenses. So very scary. You don't even know what kind of defenses you have on right now. Like you're not even fully aware of it. If you were, you'd be enlightened. Because whatever is in the awareness is already a win. So you have everything in the awareness. You have already healed everything. But people are not aware. That's why people are stuck. They are not aware. It's not about overthinking things. People always think like, oh my god, I'm just overthinking things. It's actually a problem because I'm just too aware of things. No, you are not aware enough. When you think you are too aware, Right now, I think I'm going in circles. Maybe I didn't explain some things correctly enough, and some things it just won't register anyway because you're in a certain path and you don't understand certain things. So that's why sometimes when you look at the same video at a different time, it hits differently because you're in a different mindset and you might have more awareness and you understand the same things but differently. Maybe you listen to some of the things that I say and it feels very off and feels like I'm just spewing BS, and it automatically has that kind of resistance to it and you don't want to hear it. Maybe you're still even going fully through it, but a small part of you is resisting it and you cannot fully grasp certain aspects, or you see them as shallow because you're missing some few informations and you're filling those gaps in yourself. But when you are watching it again, those little gaps of me not saying something, you have those gaps now, and those gaps themselves have improved, or your view of them have improved. So you see it in a certain, like a different way, if that makes sense. So that's why I read some of the books again, but I see it in a different light. It's like I'm reading a different book all the time, like self-help books, you know. That's why I like it. Is a different experience every time. I'm reading the same exact words, but it feels different because I'm in a different emotional state and mental state, and it helps me in a different way. So there's still some value in it. By the way, this was what I was tripping on just a second ago. This is a good drink. It's an Estonian drink, I think, or maybe they just translated this to Estonia. I don't know. Yeah, can you see it? I don't know if the focus is alright or not. Yeah, it's almost done.